Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Um, Doing well on my baseball picks. I didn't do a video yesterday. I did update my stats to rank the teams and over-unders and things like that. Um, watching uh, watching the stock market drop, and it's going to really tank. Get out quickly. Even gold. Newmont went down from 85, 86 to 76. Then it went down to 72, 71. So I don't know if this is the big crash coming or what, but be careful on the stock market. If you do have anything and you did lose a little, get the hell out before you lose a whole lot. I'll tell you a whole little. Losing a little is better than losing a lot, as we know from our betting. Gold has dropped considerably. Again, do not panic. It's at 19. Let's see, today. So it got hammered yesterday. It's at 1903, up 388. So it got down to like 1899, and then it started back. Oh, silver is 23.55. Oh, Howard, I thought it was going to go through the roof. What are you telling us? It is. Again, it's JP Morgan, it's China keeping the price down to buy because they see the inflation, they see everything, and they know they need gold. So it's like if you need a new TV, you go to Best Buy and say, hey, I want to spend $25 on it, lower the price. And then they lower it for you and you buy TVs. So that's what's happening. So yes, it's going to go through the roof. This is just, they're covering their shorts is what I was told. So in other words, they put these shorts, they're shorting it, assuming it's going down, which is incredible. And so they're keeping the price, but it's not going to last. And soon you will not even see anything close to 2000. But it's price fixed and it's about to be ended because they can't keep shorting it without the actual gold and silver. And that's what they're doing. They're writing these shorts without, so it's like selling Coca-Cola without owning the stocks, the shares. How do I sell it? I don't own the shares. Well, that's exactly what's happening. So just understand that. Don't panic. It's not going down because of demand. And again, that's the supply-demand chain that I talk about, right? You need oil, they market, you buy it. Prices is always the market. So when you see gas at $4 a gallon, you don't want to pay, but you need it to get gas, so they mark it up. Now you might not do as much driving. You might say, you know what, I'm just going to go back and forth to work. I might get a motorcycle or a bike that gets, like a bike doesn't take anything, but you're not going to drive as much because it's too expensive, or you pay for the gas, but you don't do other things. So that's what you got to be careful of. Gold and silver is not priced like that. The market isn't involved with it as it should be. And that's what we're getting to, is getting the market involved. And then it'll really go through the roof. So right now it's not market driven, and that's coming. But guess what's happening? So people are taking the money out of the dollars, putting it into the stock market. Oops, the stock market's crashing. What is the stock market doing today? Let's see. So the Dow today is down 478 points. Now, yesterday it was down, and at the end it came up somehow mysteriously. But that's not real world. So it's 33,000, but it's going to be hit much harder. And again, those are just Amazon and Apple that's keeping the market up. I'll guarantee Apple's going to drop because who the hell is going to buy an iPhone for $1,300 under all this mess? I mean, the bulk of the population won't be able to afford it. I just had an interesting conversation with a communist who doesn't know she's a communist. We're talking about competition and like internet, and she says, well, I'll use AT&T, and that's the only choice. And if you move in, that's all you got is AT&T. And I'm sitting there going, There should be competition. There should be choices. That's what America is. If you don't like it, if you don't want competition, go move to Russia, and then you'll find out what it's like to not have competition. I says, you got to be kidding me. Competition's it's the best. That's why America's great, because you could compete. If somebody's making money, you enter the business. You got McDonald's, here comes Burger King, here comes Wendy. Well, if you didn't have competition, the McDonald's would be $20 for a burger and be pieces of crap. With competition, they got to compete, and then they got to make it better and cheaper. And that's what competition is good for us. So to hear that kind of talk from an adult in America right now, that you don't need competition or there's no reason for it, shows you how bad the school system works here. And that this person would even say something that stupid is beyond me. It's like you're holding up a sign. I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no concept of economics. I don't understand what competition is. Do you go to McDonald's and Wendy's and Burger King? That's competition. It allows you choice. So how you could say choice isn't important is insane. In America, competition is the key to America. That's why we're strong economy. And that's what the problem with government is. A lot of times they have the people come in and pay to keep competition out. I can't think of the word, lobbyists. That's what lobbyists do. Like, that's what JP Morgan did. I'm going to lobby to keep other people from making oil or steel or whatever it is he did, and keeping that out. Then I could be a monopoly, and I can charge whatever I want, and I don't have to fix quality, and I'm going to sell it because the market is not fair. In a competitive market, this is the market. In a monopoly, I can charge this, and you don't have a choice. You have to pay this. So this is a monopoly. In competition, if you're here, the market's here, you got to come down. You got to meet the market. But in monopoly, you're up here, and then I have to pay for that. I bought a mattress yesterday, and I chose the store and the price of what I wanted to pay. And that's what I did. That's competition. It gives me choices of which mattress and which store to buy it in and everything else. And that's why America works. I get a good quality mattress at a fair price. And I could choose to go to a cheaper mattress or more expensive mattress. That's what America is. So you're reaching your market. So you go into different markets. Anyway, so I was and then I love how they argue with you, the communists. Well, we don't need competition, and you're like, okay, how do I explain this? I'm talking to the wall here. I mean, and they think they're right, and you're really scratching your head, going, okay, the communist thinks they're right, that there shouldn't be competition. What do I do here? And so I just walked away because I can't. There's absolutely nothing you can say to the person who thinks that there's no reason for competition. This is America, competition. Okay, let's get to the picks. So let's go to baseball. Now, I've redone. So the 4 areas I'm looking for are batting average, ERA, and then runs scored and runs against. So take Atlanta. Atlanta's got a 231 batting average, which I don't know if it's any good or not anymore because nobody really has a very good batting average. ERA, they got a 4.59 ERA, which I consider bad. And the reason I'm looking at ERA is I'm looking at the whole team. So I'm trying to get to the bullpen because the starter goes 5 innings. Are the guys that come in innings 6, 7, 8, 9 any good? Are they all good pitchers or are they all bad pitchers? So is it going to be a high scoring game or a low? And then the runs, Atlanta scored 68 and given up 82. So I'm looking at, they have a weak pitching staff, right? 4.59 ERA and an 82 runs against, and they've scored 68. So I call them an over because they hit for 230 with 68. So they can score a little bit and they're going to give up a lot. And again, it depends if they're playing an over team or an under team. So in comparison, Let's look at the Yankees. Yankees have a 235 batting average, so it's a better average than Atlanta at 231. Their ERA is 2.53 versus 4.59. It's 2 points better. They've scored 58 runs versus 68, and they've given up 44 runs versus 82. So you can see the difference right there. They still hit for 235, but they only give up 253. So it's a beautiful under team. Sort of an A team where they score 58 and give up 44, but I'm seeing that doesn't really matter with a record. A team can score a lot more than it gives up and be under 500 because they're winning every game by 1 run and losing by 10. So, look at the Pittsburgh Cub game, and the Cubs won 21-0. Well, it skews all the stat. You almost want to. It's almost like college football when they play the Citadel or the Illinois West Texas or something, and it's not a real team, and they beat them 69-0. But then they get back into the Big Ten, or Alabama gets back into their conference, and then so you can throw that out. So you can't throw out the 21-0 because it was against a professional team, I guess, but it's not very. It does skew it, and the Cubs. So basically the Cubs have scored 84 runs and given up 65. And if we look at the Cubs record, they're 7-9. And that's my point. So you think the Cubs are good, and they're 84-65. So you think, oh, they're an A team or a B team. Well, wait a minute. They scored 273, but they give up 411. They have a terrible bullpen, and they score 84 runs and give up 60. Oh, wait, 21 runs was one game. So with 60, let's say 1 run, so it's 65-65. Now that doesn't put, it still probably puts them in an over because they bat 273 and their ERA is 411. But when you look at their record, it's 7-9. That's my point. So even though they're 20 runs up, it was all one game, and they're not even a 500 team. So to me, like the Mets are 13-5. If we look at them, their batting average is 256. Their ERA is 278. They score 81 runs. They give up 49, and their record's 13-5. That to me, that's the difference between the Mets and the Cubs. That makes the Mets an A team and the Cubs just an over team. If it's even that, if you take out the one game they scores, it's 65 all. Does that make them an over team? I don't know, but there's always going to be a high scoring game. But 21-0 is ridiculous. I get when like the Tigers won on Miggy's day, 13-0. Okay, then they lost the next 2 games, and that's my point. I knew they'd be flat on Sunday. So let's get through the games. I got 3 locks going today, and for my Ottawa family, I hit the Toronto backs against the wall down 3-0. They win. The Denver backs against the wall down 3-0 to Golden State. They win. And that proves my point, backs against the wall. I didn't play Brooklyn because they're so bad. It's just funny. Everybody loves Durant. He's the best player. He's not the best player, and he's a good shooter, and that's about it. And if without Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, he's nothing. But when they got to guard all of them, then he's good. But when he's the main guy, he's not very good. Magic and Bird were good as the main guy, and that's why I always question that. So let's go down the list. So we got Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Milwaukee 4.3 ERA going against Pitt with a 6.23 ERA. So my first thought is, well, let's see. I want to go over. I got 2 weak pitchers, but you got to remember they're only going to pitch 5 innings, and maybe not even that. The Pitt guy might only pitch 2 innings and give up 3 runs, and they take him out and go to the 18 guys in the bullpen. So if we look at Milwaukee and Pitt, Milwaukee, now they got a 2.04 batting average and a 3.28 ERA. They've scored 56 and give up 60. So they're a pretty under team. They don't really hit a lot. They don't get a lot of runs. They got a pretty good ERA, not great, not wonderful. And then we look at Pitt, and Pitt got a 2.33 batting average, terrible ERA of 5.02. They scored 57, give up 85. So Pitt's really a Z. Now, again, they gave up 21 in run games, so it'd be 56, 57, and let's say they gave up one run, which you can't really say, they'd be 66. So they'd still be a weak team. My play here was go over with Milwaukee based on Pitt's weak bullpen and Milwaukee's kind of weak bullpen. Even though I think Milwaukee's more of an under team because they have a weak batting average and a decent ERA, I think they should score a lot with Pitt. And you only got to get to 7. And this is where I question the line. Why would you have an over under a 7 when you got Woodruff for Milwaukee, who's got a 4.3 ERA against Keller for Pitt with a 6.23 ERA? Where are you getting 7? I could see Verlander against Scherzer, and you have an over under a 7. I don't see a 7 here with these two guys. I mean, 4.3 and a 6.2. It doesn't make any sense that the over under. So I love this game over. Not a lock. The lock's coming next. Okay, San Diego, Cincinnati. Musgrave, 2-0 with a 1.89 ERA against Sam Martin for Cincinnati. 0-2 with a 7.11 ERA. I'm locking San Diego. When I get into the game, San Diego, a 2.21 average, a 3.52 ERA, not bad. Score 67, give up 61. I got them as like an A or a high B. And then Cincinnati, I've got them. Where do they go? Cincinnati, I got as a Z. They hit 186. Their ERA is 5.40. They only scored 43 runs. They've allowed 84. They're a perfect Z team going against an A team. You got a star pitcher, 2-0 with a 1.89 going against an 0-2, 7.11 ERA. Even if they pull him after 3 innings, he's going to give up 4 or 5 runs. I love San Diego here. That's a lock. That's what we're looking for. So Cincinnati is the Detroit Lions, right? Terrible team. They're Jacksonville. They're the Jets. I mean, they're 3-13, so they don't win too many games, and you can see why with this ERA. Will it get better? Well, we'll see. But right now, it's a 5.4 ERA for the team. You got to be kidding. You ain't winning any games with that. I mean, you're going to give up a lot of runs, but not with a stud pitcher like this. So if Musgrove was a pitcher that had a 5.1 ERA, then this game would go over, and the over-under is 8. But in this case, clearly the San Diego 1.89 against the 7.11, it's clearly takes San Diego. And then when you break down the team, you can see San Diego's an A or at least a B plus going against the Z team in Cincinnati. So it's clearly all San Diego in this game. It's a lock. Boom. And the good thing about baseball is you don't have to worry about laying a touchdown or 10. I mean, you bet the team, and the team wins, you win. All right, Seattle, Tampa. Seattle. Gilbert, 2-0 with a 0.54 ERA against Tampa Bay. Weisler, 1-0 with a 2.45. This game is definitely an under game. You got 2 good pitchers going. If you look at the team, Seattle I have as an under, 2.96 ERA. They've given up 59 runs so far. It's definitely an under team against Tampa Bay, who has a 3.43 ERA. They've scored 71 and given up 63. I don't know how to mark them. I guess they're probably a B team. They hit for 244, so it's a good average. Their ERA 3.43 is not terrible. I think anything under 4 at this point is good. And so I just look at the team going, yeah, this game should be an under game. Seattle's pitcher is 2-0, so he's pitched a couple of games and has got a 0.54 ERA against this Weisler, who's 1-0 with a 2.45. So again, you're looking at the pitchers. Again, we have to understand that they're going 5-6 innings. Although once in a while I saw one guy go like 8 innings. So, but that's going to be an under or a team. But in this case, you figure at least 5, and then that's when you go to the team ERA and you look at, Seattle's under 3 and Tampa is 3.43. So even if it gets on to the later innings, I'm not looking for a lot of runs here. Colorado and Philly. I got Colorado, Marquez 0-0 with a 4.67 ERA, and Efren 0-1 with a 3.95 ERA. Philadelphia is a over team. They hit for 251, so they score runs, and their ERA is 4.73. Terrible. They give up a lot. They're definitely an over team. Colorado, we know, is an over team. Colorado, 270 batting average, 73 runs, but their ERA sucks at 4.33. They've given up 78. They're an over. Very close to locking this game. I took Philadelphia over 8 all day long. You got a 4.67 pitcher going against the 3.95 pitcher, weak bullpen, and they both can hit. So this should be a strong bet. Philly over 8. Baltimore and the Yankees. At first, I liked the Yankees, and then I switched it to the Yankees under. Let's explain. So we got Lyles for Baltimore, 3.52 ERA, and Severino for the Yanks at a 2.08. So first I said, well, I'm going to take the 2.08 guy to win again. But a 3.52 is not like a 7. Then I'd lock the Yankees if the pitcher on Baltimore was like a 7. But then I get into it. New York, 2.35 batting average, 2.53 ERA, great ERA. Not a lot of runs going to be scored. They scored 58. They've only given up 44. Total under team. So the key is, what is Baltimore? And Baltimore is also an under team. They got a 2.11 batting average, not a bad ERA, 3.17. They've only scored 45 runs. They've given up only 57. So I had them as a Z, and then I'm having them as an under because they don't hit, and they got a pretty good bullpen. They don't score a lot of runs. So that's why I changed to the Yankees under. It's under 7.5, but I just don't see a lot of runs in this game. The Yankees aren't hitting, great pitching. Baltimore doesn't hit, so the Yankees probably win 3-0 or something like that. So it's a question: do you like the Yankees more, or do you like the under more? So that's why the switch. Next game, Miami against Washington. Nice football game. The Dolphins and the Redskins. Alcantara for Miami, a 1.86 ERA against Gray for Washington with a 3.14 ERA. So off the top of my head, it's Miami, 1.86 ERA against a 3.14. It's a good run and a half less. Let's look at the teams, and I ended up taking Miami. So when I look at Miami, 2.42 batting average, 3.41 ERA. They score 59, give up 58. So they're pretty much an under team. Decent hitting, decent bullpen. They're not great, but they're good. And they're going against Washington. And Washington has a 2.21 batting average. Terrible bullpen, 5.41. They score 62 runs. They give up 100. They're a W. So this is why I'm taking Miami, because I'm really betting against this weak Washington defense and ERA, 5.41. You give up 100 runs. Now, granted, they've played 18 games, and most of these teams look like played 16. So, again, it's a little bit skewed, but the ERA is ERA. So 5.41 ERA, doesn't matter if you play one game or 100, that's our average. So that's what you're looking for. So their batting's 2.21, but their ERA is 5.41. They're just weak. And Miami, as I said, they got a 2.42, so they should hit the ball. They score, and then 3.41, they'll keep Washington down, who doesn't score a lot anyway. So that's why I ended up taking Miami, because Washington is so bad. I'm really betting against Washington, who looks like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Boston and Toronto. Here's lock number 2. And you'll know it right away. Pavada for Boston, 0-3 with a 10.03 ERA going against Gossman for Toronto, 1-1 with a 2.89 ERA. Right there. Take Toronto. That's a lock all day long. That's what you're looking for to lock. I look at Boston, 2.25 average, 3.60 ERA. They score 60. They give up 70. So they got a weak bullpen. They let up a lot of runs. They're more of an over. Toronto has a 250 average, so they can hit, and a 363 ERA. They scored 72 runs and only gave up 65. Toronto's record's 11-6, Boston 7-2. So I like Toronto a lot more than I like Boston. Boston starter with a 10 ERA against the 2.89 right away. Toronto should get 3-4 runs, and then Toronto, good bullpen, good ERA, good pitcher, should win pretty, 4-0, 4-1. That's what I'm looking at. But that's where you get the lock is. So first you're looking at the ERA, then you go, well, okay, maybe is Pivetta going to go 5 innings? And then is Gosman, you hope, goes 7 with the 2.89 ERA. And then Toronto should hit Boston pretty good and score a lot at home. So take Toronto. That's lock number 2. We got 3 locks. Kansas City and Chicago. Lynch for KC, 5.40 ERA against Dallas Keuchel. What the hell's wrong with this guy? 1-1 with a 15 ERA. This guy used to be a superstar. Now he's got a 15 ERA. I don't understand. But all you can do is look at what it is now when it's 15. He's terrible. This would preclude to an over, and the over is 8.5, and that's what I've taken is KC over. So I look at the White Sox. They only hit 214, terrible ERA of 4.08. They score only 50 runs, give up 68. So they're kind of an under team. But with that weak ERA, kind of you can get higher scoring. And then they're playing Kansas City, who has a 215 batting average with their ERA of 4.57. They've only scored 43. They gave up 67. So I play the game over really based on 2 things. First of all, the bad ERAs. And then secondly, when you look at the teams, again, it goes back to the ERAs. And they got not great averages, 214, 215. They don't score a ton of runs, but against bad pitching, they should score, and we need 8.5 here. The Cubbies against the Braves. Stroman for the Cubbies, 0-2 with an 8.78 ERA against Fried, 1-2 with a 3.5 ERA for Atlanta. I took Atlanta over 7.5. So if I look at the Cubbies, they're huge. They hit 273, ERA of 4.11. They're an over team all over the place. Scored 84 runs, gave up 65. Again, 20 came against Pittsburgh. But that how they're playing. Atlanta, on the other hand, 231 average, 4.59 ERA. Again, a bad ERA. They score 68, give up 82. So they will play a higher scoring game because they have a weak ERA, and you can see the Cubs have a weak ERA. So over 7.5. I don't understand that line. You got an 8.78 pitcher and a 3.50 pitcher, and you got a 7.5 ERA. Makes no sense. This is where I don't think Vegas gets it. You've got to look at the pitchers' ERAs to come up with your over-unders. You can't blend in like an average. Well, if I take these 2 teams for the whole year and I average them out, I'm going to get a 7.5. And that's where I'm like, no, you got an 8.78 ERA against the 3.50. You've got to go over because there's no pitching in the game. Tigers against Minnesota. Are the Tigers still flat from this Cabrera thing? They're doing a Cabrera day for 3,000 hits in June. Anything to make money. Otherwise, nobody's going to go to a Tiger game. They're just terrible. They're a little better this year at 6-9, but I don't think they'll be close to 500. Rodriguez for Detroit, 5.27 ERA against Paddock with a 5 ERA. So you got 10 ERA, in ERAs, a 5 and a 5. You got an over-under of 7. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me with these pitchers? So let's look at Detroit. Detroit, where are they? 231 batting average, not bad. 322 ERA, not bad. They're kind of like they score 53, give up 58. So they can hit a little, and their bullpen's okay. You don't know what you're getting, and they're playing Minnesota, who has a 217 batting average, a 338 ERA. They score 58, give up 56. So you have pretty much carbon copy. Detroit scores 53, gives up 58, and Minnesota scores 58, gives up 56. So you don't know what you're getting. You got some pretty weak offense, some pretty decent defense. So I'm like confused. I can't take a team with these two ERAs. So based on the ERAs, I got to go over, even though Minnie's kind of an under team in Detroit. You don't know what you're getting. Again, it's only 7, and you got 2 weak starters going. So I got to go over 7 in this game, but this is very light. The Mets and the Cardinals. The Mets, Bassett, 3.0 ERA against Hicks, a 1.29 ERA. I'm going under in this game because the Mets have a good pitcher. The Mets I have as an A team. 256 batting average, 278 ERA, very good ERA under 3. They score 81, they give up 49. A team. So it's hard to take St. Louis to beat an A team. St. Louis, on the other hand, has a 239 average and a 288 ERA. Again, a very strong pitching staff. They score 460 and only give up 41. So you got a team giving up 41 against a team giving up 49, and the Mets have played 18 games and the Cardinals 15. So I gotta take. If this is a football game, I'd take the dog. This is a perfect A against A, but with these pitchers and ERAs, I got to go under. And again, it's 7. I don't quite follow, but I think it's a steal at 7. So I like this Cardinal Met game under 7. Here comes lock number 3. The Oilers against the Cowboys. For the Oilers, Ordesi, 0-2 with a 9 ERA against Tommy Hearns for Texas, 0-1 with a 7.59 ERA. I think you can see why I'd go over. Two terrible pitchers. Houston, kind of a weak offense, 209 average, 365 ERA. ERA is fairly good. They score 54 runs, give up 62. So they're really not, they're a decent team. Playing Texas in the games at Texas, they hit 228. They have a terrible ERA of 5.08, a 71. They score and they give up 78. So they're more of an over team. Again, a weak ERA. So Texas should give up a lot of runs. Houston can't score that many. I can't take a team with these ERAs. Too sporadic. So I got to go over 9.5, and that's a lock based on how bad the bullpens are and the pitchers are, and they can hit for enough, and it's in Texas. So that's a small ballpark, so it should be a good. Cleveland against California Angels, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson. McKenzie for the Indians, 2.38 ERA against Sandike, who is 0-0. Let's check Sandike out. I think I did. So when I see 0-0 with a 0 ERA, I'm like, what the hell? And then I looked, and he started 2 games. He's pitched 8 innings, and he's given up 0 runs. So I really don't know what's going on. The guy only pitches. He's got 0 ERA, and he's only pitched 8 innings. So confusion there. Is he really a 0 ERA was what I was trying to get at. I ended up going under in the game based on the 2 pitchers being low. When I look at Cleveland, I got to change this order. They hit 264 and their ERA 362, and they've scored 75 runs, give up 62, so it's fairly good. Their 7-9 record. So you can't really correlate like in football. Football, if you got a team that scores 60 points and gives up 20, they're undefeated. Baseball, it doesn't really mean as much. This is what the Teaserking does. He figures out what's meaningful or what isn't meaningful. And apparently the 75-62 is not meaningful to really gauge that this team's a really strong team. They're 7-9. California, 246 average, 418 ERA, kind of weak. They've scored 79 and given up 72, and they're 10-7. So Cleveland. So based on the ERAs, it's going to be a low scoring game. Based on the bullpen, Cleveland can hit, and their bullpen's 360. It's not great, but it's okay. In California, 246, so they hit, but their ERA sucks. So it's really a tough. It's a misguided game because the starters are strong, the bullpen's weak, they hit good. So it's a really confusing game. So based on the starters, it's under. Based on the full team, it's an over. So it's a tough one. So I'm going to take it under very lightly based on the starters, not based on the full team. And here's where really, if it's, let's say it's the Dodgers and the Yankees, and you got Koufax going against Whitey Ford, and you go, wow, look at New York's got this, Manimal and Berra and Maris, and look at this team. They're going to score. Not on Koufax, they're not. No, Koufax is going to probably go 8 or 9 innings, where Max Sandoval is going to go 4 innings. So this is what's misleading about today's baseball. If Koufax on the mound's, I'll lock under, and anything over 2, I'm going under on. Here, it's very different. And as they go to the bullpen, you see the bullpen isn't that strong. So we'll see. But when I see these type of ERAs, I got to go under on the game. The Dodgers playing the Diamondbacks. This is lock number 4 today. A lot of lock. Well, as I get more information, I can lock it. Why would I lock it? All right. For the Dodgers, Gonzolin, 1-0 with a .69 ERA going against Zach Davies, 1-1 with a 5.02 ERA. Whenever I get the ace against the 4th or 5th pitcher, I don't know if this guy's the 4th or 5th, but with a 5.02 ERA, he ain't very good. And when I see this is what I jump at. This is exactly why I lock it. Then I get to the Dodgers. They're an A team, 245 batting average. They're going to score for me, 222 ERAs, one of the best. You got 82 runs and give up 38. Here's where, yes, they're 12-4. And it's definitely stats are 12-4. In Arizona, they have a 189 batting average and a 336 ERA. So they're not going to score at all in this game against this guy with a .69. That's why I locked it. They should shut them out 5-0 or something like that. I mean, Arizona, they're not going to, their ERA is terrible, but they can't hit. And, they probably get a lot of walks, but sorry. So lock number 4, the Dodgers. And finally, the Oakland Raiders against the 49ers. And the West Coast, Jeffries for the Raiders, 1-2 with a 1.17 ERA going against Rodon for the Niners, 2-0 with a 1.06 ERA. Just looking at the ERAs, I got to go under. Now the over/under here is 6.5, but with these ERAs, I still got to go under. I can see the Raider quarterback is 1-2 with a 1, so he's played 3 games. He's got a 1.17 ERA, where Ronan's 2-0 with a 1.06 ERA. So let's go to the stats. Oakland hits 209, and their ERA is 3.31. They score 69 runs, give up 60. So they're pretty much of an under team. And the 49ers, 241 batting average, very strong ERA, 251. They score 83. They've only given up 44. So they're not going to give up a lot. So they're an A team. Oakland is an under team, an A against an under, 2 strong pitchers. This is under 6.5 in the Raiders 49ers game. And they always play on low scoring football games when they play each other also. Montana. I'd love to see uh, the Raiders won the Steelers won the 78 and 79 Super Bowl, then the Raiders beat Philly, and then Joe Montana came on the scene in 81. And I always wanted to see the 80 Raiders play the 81 Montanas. That would have been a beautiful game. And then the Raiders beat the Redskins, who cheated their way into that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl should have been the Niners against the Raiders, because that was the Ronnie Lott pass interference call. That it makes absolutely no sense. He didn't have interference. It's a terrible call late in the game to basically give the game to the Redskins because of the Theismann. And Montana got definitely cheated in that game. You can't call interference on Ronnie Lott. Who are you kidding? So that was that should have been the Niners Raiders. That would have been a beautiful Super Bowl. But anyway, we can always dream. So that's your game. 4 locks. Well, let's go through it. The locks are San Diego, Toronto, the over in the Houston game, and the Dodgers. The rest of the games: Milwaukee over 7, Seattle under 7, Philly over 8, the under in the Yankee game, Miami, Kansas City over, Atlanta over, Detroit, not sure what to do with it. Well, we went over, but and the game's in Minnesota, which is more of a hitter's ballpark. Detroit's got a pretty deep outfield. St. Louis under 7, Cleveland under 7.5, and Oakland under 6.5. As you see, I take a lot of over-unders, and right now those are the games I'm losing because I'm looking at ERAs like let's take the KC Chicago game. I got a pitcher with a 5.40 ERA against a pitcher with a 15 ERA. The over-under 8.5. So I'm taking it over because I'm saying I'm going to see a lot of runs. And I got a pitcher gives up as a 15 ERA. I mean, that's some serious shit. Now, of course, I wouldn't be complete without a sneeze. Excuse me. So, anyway, I apologize for that. Anyway, that's what you think. So that's where I'm losing. It's an obvious. I can't take Kansas City. I can't trust them. 5-9 team. I'm not betting on against the 6-9 team. That's the problem. The actual favorite in the game, for some reason, is the White Sox are minus 160. It's insane. There, I could easily make a case to bet Kansas City, but the over 8.5 looks much better. Now, the weather also takes a factor into it. Is it going to be cold in Minnesota? Texas, I'm not worried about. Frisco, probably not. Arizona, no. California, no. Toronto, I think they have a dome. Atlanta shouldn't be. Now, Chicago, it could be cold. The Yankees could be cold. Washington, Philly. So, again, I'm not checking weather. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So it could be, it's cold in Detroit today, or colder, but the game's in Minnesota. So that's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Do I have anything on my stream? Hey, Nick. This is for NBA. I think Toronto comes back to take the series versus Sixers. Amplit is very hurt. Their coach is a choke. Well, now it's great value in my opinion. Well, and I like that Toronto. I hope you bet Toronto back on their backs against the wall. I don't know if they covered game 3. They were down 0-2, but game 4 they won, and now they won game 5, and now I think they're home again with the back against the wall. So I bet them pretty hard today, but I don't know what the line is. I don't know. Let's go to scores and odds. So scores and odds. NBA today's games. So they have no, the game isn't today. There's one series, I think it's Minnesota. I would bet the loser back. Seems to be working. Miami and Atlanta. I don't know. No, I don't see Toronto. Um, is it tomorrow? Bulls, Bucks. Oh, when is the game? Okay, so that's on the 28th. That's not till Thursday, and I don't see a line. Um, well, yeah, I mean that's what we look at as chokes. Probably a good bet, but I definitely like Toronto the next game. Uh, when you're do or die, and they are doing, then it shows you they're a clutch team, and now they're on a roll. So if you're saying Mbred is hurt, I don't know who he is, but MB to see the center who chokes too. Is Philly a choke team? Toronto won the title a couple years ago, so they know how to win. So yeah, I mean, probably like it, but that's where I'm at. So I like the four locks in baseball a lot today, well as the others. But now we're getting the statistics. Mean here's batting average and here's ERA. And you need ERA because you look at the starter, right? But he's only going sometimes 2 innings, sometimes 5 or 6. I don't think you get much more than 6 unless it's a Koufax type of Verlander who can go 7 or 8. But usually they're scared because, oh my God, if he pitches 101 pitches, his arm's going to fall off. I mean, I'd pitch 100 pitches in Little League, for Christ's sake. I mean, it's ridiculous. I remember my last year in Little League, they started with the stupid pitch count. And I'd go, I had 35 pitches left. And I'm like, I could go another 5 innings. Like, what are you talking about? What do we need a pitch count for? So that's what we got. Basketball. Again, you want to bet the team with the back against the wall, which was Denver yesterday. It's been Toronto. Again, in these 4-5 series. And the 1-8s, it's hard. Their teams. Brooklyn was the 8th seed. Boston swept them. So 1s and 8s are different. Now in the next round, definitely you want to bet backs against the wall. Especially you can see what Toronto's doing. So if Toronto gets down again, you can trust them. Philly obviously doesn't know how to put a team away. So if Philly does win and then they go up 3-0 in the next series, you bet against whoever they're playing. Let's talk. We talked a little economics. So as I said, let's look what gold's doing. And take me to whatever subject you want. Gold right now is $19.01, up $1.50. If you notice, it got down to about $18.97 and then it stopped because that's as far as they can go on the puts. They can't short it anymore. There's too much demand for this gold. So you're at the bottom now. I would highly recommend buying the gold coin. Well, anything. Definitely no. Silver's down to $23.49, which again, it's a joke. It's price fixed. And you must understand that Bitcoin 38,645 is down 1,800. Well, if Bitcoin's the end all, gotta be. Why is that down now? With all that's going on in the economy, why is Bitcoin down? So that tells you it's not gold. Now, gold should not be down. They're covering their shorts. That's why it's down. And then it's going to zoom and it's going within the next month. Look for it to be over 2,000. And I watch these shows and the guy, it's going to go over 2,100. And I'm like, it's going to 20,000. What are you, out of your freaking mind? These guys are so stupid. Well, look at the chart. It's a price fixed. You cannot go off of a chart for price fixing because, as I explained, here's the market. The market for gold, the demand for gold is here. Well, let's use this one. The demand for gold is here. The supply, they keep pumping down, which lowers the price, does not lower the demand. So people are buying. China, 25,000 tons. Russia, 14, 15,000 tons. There's demand. They are buying. When the price goes down, demand's still here. So you have this JP Morgan keeping the price down for China and Russia to buy, but the demand is not down. So in other words, as we say, if the demand drops, the supply drops, right? So as the demand goes down, the price goes down. Nobody wants a pink shirt, so it's going to drop. Okay, that's what happened. That's the market. However, if the demand is here and the price is going artificially down, which is what's happening in gold and silver, the demand hasn't dropped. Now you have this supply or price down here and the demand way up here. And what I'm saying is COMEX is doing this. They're keeping it down, but it's not real. The demand is here. It means the supply should be here, which should raise the price. And then the price is going to meet. So what normally would happen is demand goes up, price goes up, demand goes up more, price goes up more. And that's what's going to happen. But as long as COMEX keeps dropping, this demand for China and Russia is still through the roof. And me and you and anybody else wanting to buy gold, there's still demand. We still want it. And what's going to happen when it hits 22, 2300, people will panic going, I need it. I really should have bought it. I waited. Oh my God, it's going up. I better buy it before I can't buy it, before they're out of it. Jonathan Smith. Hello, Jonathan. Recap sports picks, please. Absolutely. Right now in baseball, 4 locks going today. San Diego is a lock. Toronto is a lock. The Dodgers is a lock. And Houston over 9.5 is a lock. The other regular picks, Milwaukee over 7, Seattle under 7, Philly over 8, the Yankees under 7.5, Miami, Kansas City over 8.5, Atlanta over 7.5. Detroit, we're not sure of. We're going over 7, but it could just as easily go under. Right now, Detroit, I don't. They're too weird of a team. St. Louis under 7, Cleveland under 7.5, and Oakland under 6.5. The Raiders playing the 49ers. So those are the baseball picks. Basketball, whenever you see backs against the wall. So next time Toronto plays, that'll be the pick. Although I don't know if there'll be a home dog to Philly. But Toronto has the back. Toronto can't lose. So the teams that have given up 3 wins and a best 4 wins and they're done will play their best game. The question is the matchups and everything. Now the 1-8 matchups, forget about. It's got to be the 4-5 or even the 3-6. Those you could take the 6 seed as a home dog in a game where they must win. Backs are against the wall. Did you get everything, Jonathan, or do you want me to repeat it again? I can. The 4 locks are the San Diego, Toronto, the Dodgers, and Houston over 9.5. Those are the 4 locks. A lot of over-unders because a lot of bad pitching. My pleasure, Jonathan. Buy your gold today. Gold's down. Got hammered for no reason, as I was just explaining. Gold. China wants to buy in Russia, and the price went down, but they're still buying, so it doesn't make any sense. Mr. Darkins, how are you, sir? Repeat, please. The baseball? Okay, you got a pen? You ready? 4 locks, San Diego, Toronto, the Dodgers, and the over in the Houston game. Rest of the picks, Milwaukee over, Seattle under, Philly over, the Yankees under, Miami, KC over, Atlanta over, St. Louis under, Cleveland under, and the Raiders under. So let me know if you missed anything, but that's it. I've updated my stats so I'm using batting average and ERA, and then I'm using runs for and against. You're welcome, sir. I think, but I'm struggling with the runs if they're meaningful. Football, they are. You look at Georgia, and they gave up 7 points a game. So it was very easy to bet Georgia under. Miami of Florida scored a ton of points with Van Dyke, so it was very easy to take them over. Baseball, you get the 21, the Cubs beat Pittsburgh by 21. You're like, well, what the fuck? I don't, what is that? How did now it skews the, it's like playing the Division II football game, but it's a major league team, so it skews it. So I got to see what the best thing is, and then you got the starters with a 0.00 ERA, and he pitches 3 innings. So that's the other thing I got to adjust to is these 5 inning games. That's why I'm looking at team ERA, whoever he puts in, and you don't know from day to day, are they going to use the same bullpen or are they go into different bullpen? And that's kind of what I'm looking for, how meaningful the ERA is. So as we go, but usually when I pick the team like San Diego or Toronto, those are really good. You're not relying on it. You're relying on, I got an ace against a guy giving up 6 runs a game. And I got a pretty good hitting team, so I'm not too worried about it. So why are gold and silver not going up? It's because of COMEX. So again, usually supply. So if the price of steaks goes up, but the demand doesn't, they got to lower the price. Only gold and silver is the only thing where they lower the price, but this is up. Everything else is the other way. Steaks go up, but the demand's down. You got to lower it, right? This is the only thing where the demand is here and the supply is here. And because the supply is low, everybody's like, oh, I don't want to buy gold because it doesn't move with the market. It will move with the market, but it's fixed right now. So you've got to just be patient and say, well, the demand's up here, means the price should be up here. I'm able to buy it with a price down here. That's good. I'm buying a discount. Gold, there's no reason gold should be 1900s. Therefore, but if you notice now, the premium on it is 75. And that I argue, when I go to the store, I go, why do you have a premium? Like, why are you looking at COMEX? Why are you looking at the 1900 and adding 75 to it to sell it? What are you doing? Why would you do that? You know it's not 1975. I mean, if you got to put a $75 premium on it, why aren't you selling them for 5,000? I mean, that's what you really should be doing, is selling it for the real value of the gold, not using COMEX as a guide. I mean, it makes 0 sense to use COMEX as a guide. So anyway, that's my point on this. So basically for us, just buy as much gold and silver as you can, because you're buying the price down here when it should be up here. So this price should be probably at least 5,000 right now. And the price is 2,000, is 1,900. That's my point, but the demand's here. Jerry Rice card, okay? The demand is for $100,000 PSA 10, and the price coincidentally is $100,000 for a PSA 10. So here, there's no price fixing. It's $100,000. Would you buy a Jerry Rice card, PSA 10 rookie, for $1,900 when you know it's worth $100,000? Because that's what the market, that's what the price tells you. The price is the communication. It tells you, it tells you demand. It says, yes, if you sell it at 100, you'll get buyers. And what gold's doing is saying, we don't care that the demand is 10,000. We're going to sell it for 1,900. It doesn't make sense. The demand is far greater than the 1,900. Not only that, it's not even really gold you're selling. You're selling paper gold. You're not, so it's like you're not even selling the Rice card. You're selling, I don't know what, well, I have the Rice card, but you're not really going to buy it. But we're going to pretend you're buying it. That's what these ETFs are. If you bought gold in your retirement account, you don't own it. You're just wasting your time buying gold that you think, well, it's in my IRA. It's not. Unless you go to the store and buy the coin, you don't own it. And that's my point. But the demand is here. And the proof is China with 20 25,000 tons of it, and Russia with 14,000 tons is the demand. That's the demand that you look at. Now, if gold's worthless, why the hell would they buy it? You think Putin's stupid? I don't like the war, and I'm against the war, and he should definitely go to prison or worse for invading against women and children. I do not support Putin. I think he should definitely be out and in prison somewhere. Let him go to Siberia and rot like Stalin did. But on the other hand, he does know he's smart enough to buy gold and want gold for his oil. That's very intelligent. That's going to drive the price up because people will want gold to buy the oil. And as he buys the gold, as he gets more gold, when these idiots in COMEX try to do it, they're going to want physical. Why would you? I don't know who JP Morgan sells it to. So I'm shorting it. I'm going to sell a bunch of it. Who's buying it? And why would you buy it without the physical? Why would you think buying the paper is actually buying gold? Even my Newmont mining and my gold stocks, I'm not stupid that I know I don't own the gold. I own part of the gold mine. And my thought is that's the inventory. So if I'm sitting on inventory, here's my inventory. I was going through my cards. So let's take a look at it. All of a sudden, I'm looking at this card, Mike Richter. This is my inventory. This card's to me worth nothing. PSA 10, it's worth $80. $80 fucking dollars. I just pulled 4 of them out. And I got Kevin Johnson. I'm going through this. I'm going through ProSet. And you can see they're all 10s, right? You can see the centered, the cornered. And I see this card's like $70. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's a nothing card. It's highly produced. That's my inventory. But if my inventory goes up, I'm worth more. If my gold inventory goes up, so I got a gold mine, and what's their inventory? Gold. And as that goes to 5,000, what do you think is going to happen to the stock? So right now people are selling. So here's what's confusing. With the Chinese housing market crashing because of Evergrande crashed, they went bankrupt, and the lockdown. So that's hurting the supply chain, which the supply chain's got nothing to do with inflation. And again, increasing cost has got nothing to do with inflation. The only thing that has to do with inflation is increasing the money supply, making it worth less. So when I go buy a bed yesterday, I got to spend 1,000 fiat US dollars to buy the mattress. Or a half ounce of gold would have bought the mattress. Now you watch as it goes up, an ounce of gold will buy a whole room, or it'll buy the whole kit and it'll buy 5 mattresses. That's how you measure gold, not necessarily in dollars, but that's what's happening. So as this happens, so gold is going down for no reason. Go buy it. And the Russians and the Chinese aren't stupid. They're not going to buy it without it. Now, what's going in the market? So if I look at the stock market right now, the Dow is down $482. This is 33,000. When I look at gold and silver right now, I have gold at 1902, up $2, and silver at 23.51, down 15 cents. Bitcoin is at come on. I swear I got a slow internet. 38,726, down 17.14. So the incredible Bitcoin is down 1,700. And I'm not picking on Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not, you can only go into gold and silver. You can't go into Bitcoin in other words, I'll be able to sleep and eat with gold and silver, right? I have money. You can't take that away from me. Bitcoin, I don't have money. I don't have anything. It's a way of only paying for something for somebody that has Bitcoin. It has an account that you can, okay, I'm going to send you a Bitcoin. What's it going to be worth? And then how do you get the money for it? Gold and silver is money. I don't have to worry about getting the money. It is money. I can buy a car with it. I can go to the grocery store and give you a silver ounce and have a full shopping cart. I can always have that, and that's going to go up in value. So that's the lesson learned. So when it goes down like this, it's simply for Russia and China to buy more, and the U.S. doesn't buy any. I mean, they don't have anything. They haven't gotten it yet. So that's what's happening. So the market's dropping because when you raise interest rates, what does that do? It actually makes money cost, it costs you more to get money is in simple terms. It now costs you 2% to get money. So what the Federal Reserve is going to do with these rate hikes is it's going to crash the stock market, crash the housing market. It's not going to stop inflation. Inflation's 20%. The only way to stop inflation is to stop freaking printing money and stop government spending, which is never going to happen because the people in charge are Keynesians, which means they believe the government should print money and hand it out. And then everybody go, oh, look at me, I got money from the government. That's what's happening, and that's the problem. But China and Russia go, no. Gold is the key. You have gold, that'll take care of everything. And that's what you have. So that's the idea here, is that the gold and the silver will protect you. And since so raising interest rates a little bit is not going to stop it, but it will cause the market to crash. And then as soon as the market starts tumbling, you'll watch, they won't keep raising interest rates. They'll start lowering them. So a lot of what they do is talk. And then they kind of say, look, the markets are listening. The Fed said this and the Fed said that. And look what the market did. Look how the Fed runs things. The Fed's a total nightmare. We shouldn't have it. It's not good. But okay. So class today is be careful and get out of US dollar. It's crashing. Get into gold and silver. It's on sale. Silver at $23. Go buy. Nick, go buy more and more and more. What else? What do I just got? Sports people. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be overall and help people, and then take your winnings and go buy gold and silver with it. Gold and silver is going to protect you because it's real money. Just as the gal at the start of my show who doesn't believe in competition, people don't believe in gold. And I'm trying to tell you it's the only answer in this environment, in this situation. And the scary part is, since China has all the gold, although they're in hyperinflation and their housing market's crashing, I don't know who's going to, China will have their gold, but there's so many people over there. And then Russia has the gold, but everybody hates them. I don't really know can China really take over the world? Do they even know how? And it's not going to work. A communist system cannot work. The only way it works is capitalism, the free markets, the competition. It all goes hand in hand. So me and you can go open up. I was talking I met a guy at Gardner White and bought my bed and a table, and we agreed on a lot of stuff. And I was teaching him economics, and he gets it. So he understands. Yeah, you're right. But I don't know what's without competition. I don't know where you go. I mean, people aren't happy in Russia where there's no competition, and they work 12 hours a day and they make very little. See, that's what competition really does. You're going to be working a 12-hour, 6-day job and making $100 a week. You're going to be happy doing that because they don't have to pay you. Because if there's no competition, I don't have to pay you. See, competition with wages. So I get one job, and then somebody says, hey, Howard, we like your skill set. We're going to pay you this. You go, oh, okay, I'm going to go over there. If there's no competition, not only does A not have to pay me as much, but there's no B to come and attract me away. So without the competition, I don't make anything. So I got friends in the Ukraine. I got friends in Russia. They don't make any money. They make very little. My girlfriend in the Ukraine, she's telling me what she says, well, I make about $400 a month. A month. And I'm like, and you got rent and you got a kid and you got to feed them. And you know, with $400, oh my God. I mean, Jesus, how do you live like that? And they don't realize that's why they all drink, because it's the only thing they can afford, and they don't realize how bad they have it. And that's why they all are jealous of Americans, because we make a lot more and we do it in 40 hours, not 60 hours. And when I heard that, I just shook my head like, oh, I work 6 days, 12 hours a day, and I make $150. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you live like that? But they don't know any better, and we do. So I'm praying the war gets over soon. I don't know what Putin's doing. You've got the gold, Putin. Get the hell out of the way. Well, what are you doing? It's like the money heist, guys. You've got the gold. You're dead. Go. Just leave. You don't want to keep fighting. You're done. You've got it. So I don't know what Putin's doing. And since he censors Russia, he can say, hey, we won the war. He could have said that after 3 days. We went in and won without firing a bullet. He could have went in and went back to Moscow and said, we won. We won. We won, and there's censorship. And they control the TV, so nobody knows what's really going on. I got to send pictures to my friends in Russia to say this is what happened. And even my friends in the Ukraine, I got to show them we blew up a boat, or we blew up this, or we blew up that. And so they understand what's going on. But Putin, you control the media. Just say you won. That's it. Just go back to we won. We're fine. We got it. We won. What are you doing with Mariupol and the whole Black Sea? Well, what the hell are you doing? And you don't need to go in and fire. Here's what's happening. So they think in Mariupol, all they got left is a steel building, right? We'll blow it up and that'll be it. No, these guys are all underground. They're probably coming up 10 miles away and relaxing. And nobody, they're firing. There's probably nobody there. That's what happened in Vietnam. They had all the tunnels. That's what Hitler did, and the Nazis had tunnels all over the place. So Hitler was never in the bunker, or was in it, and then they had 6 exits. He walked to the airport and he took off in a plane. He wasn't in the bunker. And then when he went to Argentina, there was tunnels all over the place. So that's what the Germans did, is they dug tunnels. So you're firing, you're not hitting anything. You're hitting buildings. The people are gone. There's nobody there. And that's what the Ukrainians are doing. The same thing with the tunnels. You can hit it all day. There's nobody there. They're all gone. They're on a beach somewhere waiting for the fighting to end. But I give the Ukrainians a lot of credit, and they're forced to fight for freedom. But what is Russia doing? What a bunch of freaking idiots. I mean, this Putin's out of his freaking mind. I mean, you want to nuke? This is what you want to do, is go nuke? You're out of your freaking mind. They had to send this guy to Siberia. Anyway, so any other subjects anybody wants to talk, speak now, or we'll have to wait till tomorrow. Anyway. So we covered the baseball, basketball, backs against the wall. NFL draft is this week. The best quarterbacks, I don't know. McCall from Coastal Carolina, Hagner from Fresno State. I think they're in it. Otherwise, I don't know if Boussaint's in it. The wide receiver from LSU is the best wide receiver. Stingley should be a top 5 pick. The cornerback from LSU is unbelievable. He's like Honey Badger and Patrick Peterson. Basically, he's the same LSU superstar. That's what you get with LSU. Alabama, avoid them. Nobody does anything good in the pros from Alabama. Georgia, I'd grab the whole defense. Like I said, there's 9. I got 9 guys in the is that? I got the whole defense. There's 9 guys I would just like. I'm a team with three guys in the first round. They'd all be Georgia's defensive guys. The linebacker, the linemen, the secondary, they all were fast against the run and against the little bubble screen and everything. And these guys are superstars. Just draft as many as you can. That would be the way I would go. And because you don't see teams giving up 7-8 points nowadays. Just unbelievable. But see, now here's where we can't just play Georgia under next year. We've got to wait. We've got to watch and see who the Georgia is. Is Georgia next year? Is LSU Georgia next year? All of a sudden they give up 7 points a game because Brian Kelly's there. So we have to see what's going on and let the stats speak for themselves. So we didn't know Georgia was Georgia this year until 4 or 5 games in. They're giving up 7 points a game. That's why I keep the stats. Is the stats yell at me and say, hey, this team gives up 7 points a game. Or Miami of Florida, hey, they score 40 a game. And their over-unders 44. And they scored by themselves. That's what you're looking at. So that's what I'm trying to do with the baseball. We'll get that more fine-tuned. And otherwise, let me know if there's any other questions. But I think I'll go through the 4 locks one more time. San Diego, the Chargers, Toronto, the Maple Leafs, the Dodgers, we got to call them Dodgers, and the Oilers over 9.5. Those are the 4 locks today. And I really love the Raider 49er game under 6.5. Should be an under game. Anyway, I think that's about it. www.teaserking.com. Please go there, get my email. Please email me. I'll be happy to do that. When I get scenarios, I bring it here, like people that don't understand competition, people that don't understand gold, people that don't understand stock markets. So what happens to me in real life, I bring to use as examples of, no, these people don't know what they're doing. I had coworkers I'm telling them to get out of the stock market. No, Howard, it'll drop, but then it'll come back up. And I'll break even. I'm going, well, why break even? We know it's going to drop. Why don't you get out? And then when it drops, you can buy if you think it's going to go back up. I don't think it's going to go back up. I think all the fiat money is going away and, buy gold and silver. But no, Howard, you don't know what you're talking about. So, okay, good luck holding your stocks till 0. That's great. All right, but don't tell me I didn't warn you when your IRA goes down to 0 and Howard was right. Don't tell me that, because I was in Alabama and I picked Georgia to win the game, and nobody said, good pick, Howard. And I told them Georgia's going to win. Oh, roll tide. And Georgia wins. And nobody said, yeah, that was a good pick. Everybody loves you picked it. Nobody. That's the way they are down there. Anyway, that's why I'm not down there anymore. Okay, have a great day. www.teaserking.com. Take care.